Hi, this is King for David and Goliath Music, BeatClass.com. Now I'm working on a track, and what I want to do is kind of just bring you into a production that I'm working on, and whatever you can learn from this, that'll be awesome. There's no specific focus of this lesson other than to bring you in and look over my shoulder as I write music. Now, I'm starting with an instrument called the Native Instrument Pro 53. There's a really great sound that I love using. And if you watch the screen, you'll get to see my hands as I'm playing, but you'll also be able to look at the screen and see the notes that are being played on the Pro 53. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come up with a line. I'm going to be recording at 140 beats per minute. All right, you should be able to see it there. What I'm going to do is come up with a line that is what's called cliche. Now, it's important not only just to learn music, but to learn everything. Software, mixing, engineer, mastering. But there's a part of music that some people overlook, and that is language. When I was in the band, we learned language. We learned what forte meant, what adagio, arpeggio, abugando means. These are all Italian words, but they all mean something musically. They tell you whether you're playing softly or whether you're playing quickly or vibrantly. Words mean a lot in music. When you're working on a score for film, they want to know different elements, moods that correspond with the acting in the film. So, expanding your dialect or expanding your vocabulary helps you expand your expression as a music producer. And you always want to be able to express yourself, because music is nothing but expression. So with that being said, I'm going to come up with a cliche line. I'm going to start with an E flat. We're playing in the key of A flat. Actually, I think let's go with A flat. And we're going to use a line that's very cliche. Cliche means, again, back to the language, cliche means used over and over again, something that's very well known and widely accepted. All right, so we're going to use a cliche line. We're going to start on E flat, F, A flat, B flat, C. Now here's what the line's going to sound like. It's going to sound like this. Perfect. All right, so then what we're going to do is pull in some instruments from the Korg Triton, and we're going to put it all together and make it into this, hopefully, a great track. All right, so I'm going to pull up Adobe Audition. Here we go. I'm opening Adobe Audition 3. Adoshi. I like that. I just changed the word. Adobe Audition 3. This is a music editor. It's an audio editor. I play sometimes my parts from my Korg Triton or my external keyboard into it, so that I can then marry that into the FL Studio stuff. So what I'm going to do is press play on my FL Studio while I begin to record my stereo music into Adobe Audition. All right, here we go. Let's try that again. Here we go. Cool. All right. So I'm doing a really short loop. All right. Now this loop is really short, but what's cool about it is it's perfect for what we're doing. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and add that into the mix. All right, I'm going to chop this off completely. The stuff that I don't need, I'm chopping off in the beginning. I'm going to F8 it where it's supposed to loop 2, 3, 4, and 1. All right, right where it loops, that's where I'm going to F8 it. I hit F8, and that gives me a loop point. I can delete all the rest. Make sure my wave starts pretty good. And it starts good. And what I mean by start good is that there's no silence in the beginning of the wave. Now I can go ahead and save this file. I'll save it as, I'll save it in my music first of all. Let me choose a folder that's going to work well. There it is. And I'll save it as the same name as the song, which is Ah-Ha. And I'll call that synthesizer, synth. And I'll put 1 because I'm probably going to use another synth. Bam. Right now I can come over here to FL Studio, which is awesome. Awesome. And I can drag in that particular sound that I just recorded. Alright, I just go to my music and I look for, actually I need to do what's called a reread structure, which is nothing but a reload button. And I'll go ahead and let you see what I'm doing over here. And I look for Ah. There it is, Ah-Ha synth. Alright, now I just drag that in there. Make sure you can see it. Bam. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and just play it on the beginning or the downbeat of the song. Alright, I could just really just go ahead and plug it in there by hitting my mouse key. And let's see what happens. Alright, let's try it again. Ah-Ha synth. Drag it in. Put it in there. Here we go. Nice. Alright, now what I want to do now is maybe come up with a simple drum pattern. Alright. Alright, but I want to be able to make it longer than this 4-bar hook or loop. So I want to go into song mode, change my pattern to pattern 2. Now I want my drum to go 8 bars, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to now paint in. I'm going to paint in the playlist pattern 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put it in 4 times. Now I can play my pattern 2 as long as I want to. I'm going to use that snare, but that's not the snare that I'm going to work with for the actual track. Here we go. And alright, cool. Nice. I like that rhythm. I love that rhythm. Alright, I'm gonna, now that it's in my playlist, I'm gonna paint it in twice. Now it should span the whole 8-bar loop. I'm going to take that back, 16-bar loop. So we've got now 8 bars of snare, 4 bars of melody, times 4 gives me 16. 8 times 2 is 16. Here we go. Alright, now let's get some sounds in there real quick, because I'm working with a 15-minute video. So by the time we're done, 15 minutes, we're going to have a little something that we can work with. Okay? Alright, here we go. Here's our FPC. Alright, let's pull that up. I need to actually have that on my screen. There it is. And I actually like that drum, but it's not really cutting through the way I would like it to. And so we're going to go ahead to our drums, pull in something a little bit more high pitch, more 808-ish. How's that? 808-ish. I like that one. Alright, because there's so much tuning to do to these drums, I'm going to tune some of it higher. That's better. Perfect. I'm going to hit save. Alright, now let's get some kicks. Let's get a kick in here so we can get this thing moving. It's sounding like a... And obviously I want that kick to punch through. Right now the kicks that I have are the factory kicks, and they're a little too heavy. Let's try that. Alright, let's try and mess around with that idea. I thought it was going to be a little too heavy, but it's working out not that bad. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, my fault. We're going to do pattern 3. Alright, this way I can maybe make this a 16-bar loop. So I've got an 8-bar snare loop, a 16-bar kick loop, and an 8-bar music loop. It's perfectly okay to do that, alright? So everything doesn't have to be in this block form. It can be in layered form, kind of like a pyramid is built. No Illuminati reference there. But it makes better sense when you're building a song to have different lengths to your loops. Alright, here we go. Let's give it a shot. 2, 3, and... Alright, cool. That's 16 bars of kicks. Let's listen back. Alright, cool. It puts a lot of variety in there. Last thing I would do, we're running out of time. I've got maybe a minute and a half. So maybe the last thing I would do is bring in a bass line, something that was really, really dynamic. Let me try my Sawyer. I'm going to try in a very short time to pull in a bass line. Alright, now I'm going to use the notes E flat to D flat. I like that monster. That's big. Alright, now I'm going to make it very choppy, alright, in 30 seconds I'm going to do this really quick. It's going to be another 16-bar loop, pattern 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and... Alright, cool. That's it. King David, David and Goliath, musicbeatclass.com, and you know where to go to get the best music production tutorials in the world. Alright, peace.